Okay, here we go. Lesson 23, Graphical Solutions. We're going to solve a system of linear equations by graphing. Now, we've solved them before. We've used two different methods. We've solved them by elimination and we've solved them by substitution. By solving a system of linear equations, we're trying to find the x and y values, or a linear pair, that makes this equation true and this equation true. And we talked about this a little bit. If we were to graph these lines, because they are linear equations, the point where they intersect is going to be the solution, or the ordered pair, or the xy coordinate that makes both of these equations true. Because that point, that xy value, will lie on this line and it will lie on this line. So let's get to it. We're going to graph each of these lines and see where they intersect. So let's do the first one. We'll solve it in red. So we're going to get 3y equals 2x. That's an awful 3. 3y equals 2x plus 6. And then we divide everything by 3, so we get y equals 2/3 x plus 2. They have to be in the form y equals mx plus b in order to graph them. Even if you're going to use a chart, you want to get it into this form, but we don't want to use charts anymore. We want to use the y-intercept method to graph them. So the y-intercept method says, this is our b is y-intercept, 2 is the corresponding part, it's where it's going to cross the y-axis, so we put a point on 2. Like that. And then, this is our slope, the m, the number before the x, is our slope. It's rising 2, remember slope is rise over run, so you start at your y-intercept point, you rise 2, you run 3, and you put a point, and then you connect those points. You're going to need to use graph paper and a ruler in order to get these close to where they're supposed to be. That's about as close as I'm going to get this. Okay, let's do the next line. Let's do this one in blue. Whoops. Okay, next one in blue. So this one's a little bit easier to solve. So we get y equals negative x minus 1. So our y-intercept is negative 1. Most of you have this down totally, but there's a few of you that still aren't quite sure how to do graphing by the y-intercept method. So your y-intercept is negative 1. Your slope, there's a little 1 here, so if you're going to do the slope of this line, it's going to be negative 1 over 1. So we start at this point, your y-intercept, you go down 1 and to the right 1. We put a point, and we connect it with our nice straight line using a straight edge for you, and me with this big chunky line. And it looks like the point where it intersects is, or let's use green for that, is right about here. Now it's really bad with this to be able to see exactly where it intersects, and you're going to have trouble figuring out exactly where it intersects, so you're going to have to try to guess something. So I'm just going to guess. Let's just put it up here. It looks like 1.8, negative 1.8 x, and then above it, it looks to me about maybe 1.5. I'm just guessing, and I'm guessing in decimals. You can guess in fractions, whatever you like. Now, in order to see if this is right, you can either use a graphing calculator, and you can actually trace on the line, and when you hit the point where they intersect, the graphing calculator will tell you what it is. But only one person has a graphing calculator, so we need to do substitution or elimination to figure this out. So I already solved this one right here for y. So I'm just going to take y equals negative x minus 1, and I'm going to put it in for y in the other equation right there. So we're going to get 3 times negative x minus 1 minus 2x equals 6. So we get negative 3x plus minus 3 minus 2x equals 6. negative 5x equals 9. And we get x equals negative 9/5. And if you pop that in your calculator and figured it out, it would be about negative 1.8. So it would be 1.8. I'm going to pop up the calculator. I might need one. Okay. Yep, it's 1.8. Okay. Now we need to figure out, we need to take this value and put it in for x in this equation and figure out what y is. So we're going to get y equals negative 9/5 minus 1, and we get y equals 9/5 minus 1, and y would equal 4/5, which equals 0.8, which isn't quite, did I even do that right? Yeah, this should have been, hold on a second, this should have been just 0.5. I had a bad look at that. So this one would have been, this right here, the y coordinate, looks like we go over negative 1.8 and then we go up 0.5, not 1.5. And so this is going to be equal to 0.8, and I said 0.5, so it's not too far off. But that's why you have to check it, and this is the point where it would make 0.8, and this would be negative 1.8. They're the points that make, they're the x and y coordinates, so you put them like this. Your final answer would be either negative 1.8 or 9/5, and then 0.8. If you would substitute these into both of these equations for x and y, it'll make both of those equations true. Okay, the little words for extra credit tomorrow are Zach is having his date in the family room. Okay, let's keep going here. We're going to do one more. Let's put these in y slope-intercept form. So we're going to get y equals 2x plus 2. That's nice and easy. So let's put a point on 2. And our slope is 2 over 1. So we go up 2 over 1. Connect that with a nice line. You guys will be able to hit yours better, but that one's not too bad. Okay, and then this one, the other one, is, let's just do that in green, it's y equals negative 3. So what that's telling me is that the slope is 0. So it's going to be a horizontal line. And also, remember that little trick, if you flip the y around, it looks like an H. So it's going to be a horizontal line going through 1, 2, 3. Y equals negative 3. So let's just put a line right across there. And let's try to see where they intersect. So let's look for intersection points. It looks like they intersect right about there. And let's write the ordered pair up here. Hold on a second. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my pen here. Okay, they look like they intersect at the x1, 2, and mine looks like 2.9, negative 1, 2.9. So I'm just going by what I see there. Might not be right. And my y is easy because the whole line goes through y equals negative 3, so this has to be, my y coordinate has to be negative 3. Alright. And we should check it just to make sure that it's right. And this one's pretty easy. We really just need to check the x coordinate. So if we put this negative 3 in where the y is, we should get it pretty easily. So we get negative 3 equal minus 2x equals 2. Negative 2x equals 5. X equals negative 5 halves, which would equal to negative 2.5. So I was off a little bit on that. The actual solution would be x equals negative 2.5, negative 3. So that's it. Graph as best as you can. Try to use that slope-intercept method. Let's not do any more charts. Alright, that's it, and we'll see you in class on Thursday.